Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is ThePromG. Welcome back to a brand new video. Now, what I'm bringing you guys today is a brand new first impression manga review. Now, if you couldn't tell from the title, the series I'm going to be talking about today is a series that I recently started. I picked up the first 3 volumes in my local comic book shop because there was a buy 2 get 1 free sale. And yeah, I've just been loving this series so much ever since. That series is, of course, Inio Asano's Dededede Destruction. I probably butchered the hell out of the last part of the title, but you guys get the idea. Now, there are 2 main reasons that I decided to pick up this series. Number 1 being that I want to follow more currently ongoing series. Most of the manga in my collection is this old completed series that I decided to pick up in one fell swoop. So I feel like it's kind of my duty as a manga creator and a manga consumer to support the new ongoing series that are currently coming out. And the second reason is I've currently kind of been on a quest to complete certain mangaka's, full English release library. Some of my favorite mangaka like Takehiko Inoue, Naoki Urasawa, I've been picking up all of their series that are released in English. And if you guys don't know me, I'm just a completionist when it comes to manga collecting especially. It's a blessing and a curse, but it does allow me to experience a lot of manga that I may not have otherwise even experienced. And the current mangaka that I'm looking to pick up all of his English released series is obviously Inio Asano. And Dededede Demons is one of the main series I'm working on at the moment, and I've just been absolutely loving this series so far. So today in this video, I'm going to talk about my first impressions on this series. I read the first 3 volumes of the series, and I'm going to talk about my thoughts and if I recommend this series for you guys to read yourselves. So if you guys do enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more manga videos just like this. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So the story of Dededede Demons takes place 3 years after this massive alien invasion came, and there was this big ship that came, I believe, over Japan exclusively, and has just been kind of hanging out ever since. Now, initially there was huge conflict and there was grave concern for the future of humanity, but in the 3 years since the alien invasion and when the story takes place, people's lives have kind of started to calm down, and people are starting to carry on with their lives like they did before the alien invasion. However, there is this constant looming threat of this massive spaceship that is just constantly hanging over Japan. So to say that things have gone completely back to normal would be very far from the truth. So the main characters of our story are this group of high school girls, and they're, I think, graduating high school in the year that the story takes place initially. The main 2 characters being Kadode and Iran. And aside from some of these characters being very lively and pretty zany, they do live this normal high school life that I would expect from a kid in Japan. At least the first 3 volumes of manga really focus on, kind of this slice of life, just day-to-day things that these characters experience. Whether it be hanging out with friends, discussing relationships, school life, and a little bit of first-person shooter video games here and there. In art, you can tell that the series takes a very different approach to the idea of an alien invasion, especially in contrast to other forms of media, such as Hollywood blockbuster movies. Obviously, in those movies, the alien invasion is the main center of the action, and oftentimes the main characters are the heroes and the saviors of the universe. But in Dededede Demons, at least the first 3 volumes, this impending doom of the alien invasion kind of takes a back seat and kind of goes on in the background, with the foreground just being the day-to-day actions of these characters. And I found it very interesting how the details and the story of the current situation of the alien invasion are told in this manga. A lot of the time a character will either be, listening to the radio or watching TV, and then it'll kind of tell the current events as they're unfolding in the world, such as, oh, a spaceship came down from the big mothership and crashed in this site, or this certain company is developing these A-ray weapons to shoot down the mothership. Now, when I was reading these first 3 volumes, I really expected the whole conflict of the alien invasion to really take the front seat after, the first or second volume, but still where I'm at right now, it's kind of just going on in the background. And, while this isn't necessarily a bad thing, I kind of just wish that there'd be more, conflict between the main characters and the aliens, or they'd be more involved with each other. But I'm sure that in the volumes to come, the main characters are obviously going to get acquainted with some alien invaders personally, which has kind of been hinted at with some of the events in this series thus far. I won't get into any spoilers, but just know that there have been some encounters between some of the characters and invaders. Now, obviously, you could take this issue of an alien invasion at face value as it's presented in this manga as a work of complete science fiction, but when you take a little bit of a deeper look, you can tie these kind of issues with some currently ongoing issues in our world today. The first connection that I made when I was reading this series was actually to the coronavirus, and obviously this manga came out before the whole coronavirus outbreak, but when I was reading about how there was this major conflict that shook the world, and then, a year or 2 later, people were starting to kind of get back into their normal lives, it kind of reminded me about how coronavirus, shook the entire world. And, it still is this big, massive issue that's dominating the headlines. But as we've had to live with the current situation going on, we've gotten more used to quarantine, and I hear less and less people talking about it. I feel like, in a way, a lot of us have become complacent with just living like this. This is the new normal that we have to adapt to. And the second more prominent, and I'm sure more intended, connection that I made is the comparison from alien invaders to current immigration issues. Another thing that I really like about the series is kind of how it gives you this insight into what people in society are thinking about current issues, and it kind of shows how they interact on social media and through the media and the news and all that. Just like today in relation to immigration, there are groups on either sides of the spectrum, the ones that want to eradicate all the invaders, and on the other end of the spectrum you have people who want to embrace these alien invaders, kind of integrate them into human society. And then you have multiple groups who kind of fall somewhere in the middle based on what they're arguing for or against invaders. And again, you can make a clear distinction between these invaders to immigrants, whether it be through Mexico to the United States or just across seas in Europe. You know, you have all these different issues currently going on in the world where people are very concerned about immigration. And there are a few examples where the invaders are actually humanized and they're kind of shown having, you know, emotions and these human characteristics. An example of this is a soldier is faced with two invaders and he shoots one even though they're like hugging and they're basically begging for their lives in this foreign alien tongue that the soldier can't understand. So he just pops him in the face. And even though these invaders don't have a human face and you can't understand what they're saying, you really do feel, you know, the sorrow after the one alien is killed and the fear from the aliens when they're being faced with the soldier. So there are a lot of things that you can take from this manga that you can apply to the real world. You know, it really does go a lot deeper than just this science fiction story about these alien invaders coming to Japan. And the last thing I want to talk about in this first impression review is the artwork. I am absolutely in love with Inio Asano's artwork. I just really love how he portrays these urban environments, especially Tokyo, where I believe most of his series take place. And I think that's a very accurate depiction of, you know, how many people live their lives in current society. There are a lot of super realistic shots of, you know, the city, the landscape that take up 2 pages, and some of these include the massive mothership that is just looming menacingly over Tokyo. And I often found myself getting lost, you know, just staring at these panels and these pages for minutes on end, just getting absolutely lost in how beautiful and stunning Inio Asano's realistic artwork can be. And again, kind of like from my Goodnight Pun Pun first impression review, I really do like the character designs and faces. You know, he gets a lot of emotion portrayed on these faces. Some are just absolutely absurd and exaggerated, but aside from all the absurdities, he's also able to portray a deep level of human emotion on the characters' faces, you know, when they experience sadness or joy. It's for all these reasons I think Inio Asano has some of the most immersive manga. At least personally, I'm able to immerse myself and just get lost in his stories, and that's also a reason why I find it so easy to get invested into the characters that he creates, because they again deal with these human issues that a lot of people, myself included, have faced in their lives. Even though we don't currently have an issue of a looming threat from space invaders, knock on wood, I just find this series super funny, super relatable, and overall just a really engrossing manga. Needless to say, I just absolutely breezed through the first 3 volumes, and I really do need to pick up more. I believe we're up to like volume 8 now. If it wasn't clear from my praise of this series, I really do recommend you go and check out this series. I think that this would be a good series to get you introduced to Inio Asano and his manga. Obviously, some of his other series are a little bit more grave, grim, and very emotionally scarring in some cases. But from where I'm at in this series right now, it seems to be a little bit more lighthearted and funny series, but very interesting as far as the story goes. Anyways, guys, that's gonna wrap up for this first impression manga review of Inio Asano's Dead Demons, Dededede Destruction. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more manga reviews just like this, and leave in the comments below if you've read this series and what your thoughts about it. I'm very interested to hear what you guys have to say. Anyways, guys, this has been ThePromG. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and as always, hope to catch you in the next one.